David Dobrik has been faced with SA allegations, allegedly ran his friendship group like a cult, and was even sued for $10 million by one of his oldest friends. All of this eventually led to him disappearing from the internet for good. He hasn't posted a video to his main channel in 877 days. He hasn't posted a video to his second channel in 1026 days. And he hasn't posted an episode of his podcast called Views in 855 days. And there's not a single person in the comment section of his new Instagram post who wants him there. Remember the time David didn't take responsibility for almost killing his friend? How is this dude still around? You know where you should run? Straight to trial. Try not to cause any brain and eye damage to anyone this year. I love all the hate here.
Like I said, I would just want to make videos where everybody in it, you know, whether you're participating or watching, is enjoying and having a good time. And I missed the mark with that one.
As David said, all he wanted to do is to make videos where everybody who's participating or watching is having a good time. And it seemed that until his last years he did exactly that, but something changed. Back in 2016, David Dobrik used to be the biggest vlogger on all of YouTube. He would pull in billions of views every single year, earning millions of dollars and living a life better than he could ever have dreamt of. But today, he's nowhere to be seen. It all started going downhill when BigNik decided to speak out. See, BigNik is one of David's oldest friends who used to frequently make appearances in his videos. David would routinely make him the butt of their jokes and it all focused on his dwarfism. Because due to his severe condition, Nick is only 3 feet and 9 inches tall.
But it is kind of like a cult, yeah. It's like a high school vibe, very cultish like vibe, and you can kind of feel it. Like even when I would like film with people afterwards, I would come home so drained, like just mentally. And
even worse being that Nick's condition makes him blind in one eye, which made it even easier for him to be targeted in David's jokes. He would, for example, make multiple puns about Nick being short.
BigNik, you got the money you owe me?
yes, sir, I do.
Ah, perfect. Oh wait, it looks like you're a little short.
Or cover up his one good eye and make him do things for money while being effectively completely blinded while filming.
If you shoot the target with the paintball gun off Todd, you and Todd win $1,000 combined. So 500, 500.
Really?
Yes. Here's the catch. You're blind in one eye, so we're gonna cover your good eye.
And all of these seem like fun, harmless jokes among friends at the time, like you and I would make with our friends. But after you account for all the different power dynamics at play, it's easy to see how things could take a worse turn. Nick said that David's jokes really hurt his mental health and his entire self-image had changed, even going as far as to say that David's friendship group seemed like a cult to him, saying that everyone involved in his vlogs would laugh on cue at his jokes, and if one of their laughs wasn't good enough to make the video, they would simply refilm the entire segment. In the end, the two of them were able to peacefully part ways, but BigNik coming out was only the beginning of this all. A massive bomb dropped when multiple investigative journalists released articles aimed at David and his friendship group. These articles would prove that whenever David would film his friends hooking up with people at parties, that consent was actually never confirmed from the other side that was involved, often involving intoxicated young women. In one particular video, David's friend Dirty Dom got together with 2 girls at a party at David's house.
Holy shit. It smells like someone was murdered in here. Dom.
What's up, dude?
You are sweating like a racehorse.
When the video was first released, it all seemed like everyone was aware of the situation and was fully able to consent. Nobody in the comments or in the video noticed anything wrong and everyone had a good time. Or at least that's how things seemed, as this was all afterwards proven to be a complete lie, with Hannah, one of the girls in the video, even requesting the video to be completely removed from David's channel. David managed to somewhat cover the situation up at the time thanks to his legal team releasing a statement, claiming that anyone who knows him knows he does not condone misconduct in any form. And this entire situation was followed by one of David's most infamous apology videos, which was not received positively at all. And in this, he even admits to never having reached out to the victims of his friend at the time, while he had every opportunity to do so, neither publicly or privately.
Even privately, I didn't reach out to any of these people, and that breaks my heart knowing that I was doing all this stuff and I was making all this content while there was people that were still really hurt by what I made.
But at the very least here, Dirty Dom, David's friend, is the one who's actually at fault, and David himself didn't commit any crime or so to say. One of the women who was also in David's videos with Dirty Dom, Riley Reed, later came out and explained that the pressure of being on camera and surrounded by up to 10 people at a time made her agree to things she would naturally never have said yes to.
It was like under so much pressure because I also am in a room of like 12 people playing up this Riley Reed persona, filming this David Dobrik video, and he's like this like icon person. So that he's like, will you kiss him? I'm like, yeah. Will you kiss him right now? Yeah. Okay, kiss him. And I'm like, okay, I kiss him. Like I didn't really want to, but like whatever. I fucking done so much shit I don't fucking care.
Even mentioning that Dom admitted to not having had an STD test in weeks, which allowed her to luckily get out of things before the situation went any further. After this all went down, David was able to somewhat recover his career. He took a short break but returned to creating vlogs as usual, and his fans absolutely loved it. His first video back after the scandal was received very well. I know a lot of y'all don't want this to be true, but I'm excited AF right now for a new upload. I haven't smiled for 4 minutes and 20 seconds in a while. I expected him to be like Rusty coming back, but no, this shit is entertaining AF. And these are just a few of the thousands upon thousands of happy and positive comments he received upon returning to YouTube. But then, just a few months later, David's former friend Jeff Wittek decided to sue him for $10 million. It all started when David decided to invite all of his closest friends to a remote location in a small city in Utah called Provo, where they would spend time together at a large Airbnb which is right next to a lake. Here, he decided to film his friends doing a bunch of stunts in the water, which all went well to begin with. But he then asked his friends to hop on a large excavator he parked in the middle of the lake.
We're in the middle of the lake. We have this tractor, and then we have Heath and Todd. You guys ready? Ready. All right, let's go.
According to him, the stunts that were being performed weren't extreme enough yet. So what does David do? He ups the ante. He alleges that Jeff asked to be strapped up to a rope and swung around the lake while David controlled the machine. And what's even worse is that David is by no means licensed to operate this type of machinery, which weighs anywhere from 2,000 to 8,000 pounds on average, which also means it produces a similar or even greater force when put to action. As Jeff was swinging from the excavator and David had no idea how to safely stop the vehicle, he would eventually hit the brakes way too hard. This would turn Jeff into a flying object that was rapidly spinning off of the machine arm, resulting in the rope getting wrapped around it until he would eventually make contact with the metal frame, even leaving him hanging headfirst in the water until the others could reach him in time to cut the rope off as he was drowning in the water. On that specific day, Jeff would break his hip after the collision and was left with up to 9 different fractures in his skull on the left side of his face, as well as an orbital blowout, meaning that his eye was effectively hanging in its socket without any support.
I broke my hip, I had 9 fractures in my skull and face, and I had a full orbital blowout, so I had 7 implants put through, one here, they're all over the place.
As a result of this day, Jeff was left with a life-threatening eye injury to his left eye, which had the potential to leave him blind in case of an unsuccessful operation at the hospital. But even worse was that the pieces of bone that came loose could have ended his life. David and all of his other friends seemingly agreed to remain quiet about this all, but Jeff went out and spoke his truth about the situation. Jeff then released a 5-part documentary where he would share his entire story to millions of people, detailing exactly what he had to endure as a result of these horribly planned actions. If the impact was a couple of inches to another side of his face, Jeff would have died on the spot.
If that would have entered about 3 millimeters higher and been on the same angle, it would have cut your eye right now.
A few inches the other way would have killed me.
So you would have died.
Knowing this all, his hatred for David makes all the sense in the world, going as far as to reveal that he passionately hates David for what he did to him until this day, but even more for how he treated the entire situation afterwards, mentioning that David barely if ever checked up to see how he was doing while recovering in a nearby hospital.
Because I've been protecting this guy for so long, and there's so much more to the story than just him not texting me for a week after I had such a drastic surgery where I could have been blind.
But instead, he just kept filming his vlogs as usual, as if he did nothing wrong at all, and even accused David of lying about the entire idea of Jeff swinging from the excavator in the first place, as David had blamed Jeff, claiming that it was his idea to get up on there. And as of today, 2024, Jeff still suffers the consequences of David's actions toward him. He visibly has to squint in all of his videos due to this injury, and he frequently wears glasses which allow him to take the attention away from it. And Jeff still suffers from needing multiple surgeries now 4 years later. Their lawsuit isn't even completed yet. The official court documents show that as recent as August 22nd of 2024, there have been new proceedings made. And wealthy defendants like David often try to make a case take as long as humanly possible to bleed the opposite side dry, due to the large amount of legal fees that come with starting a process such as this, meaning that Jeff could be paying millions of dollars in lawyer fees before seeing a single cent from David, if he is even capable of completing the lawsuit. And at this point, it's hard to imagine that anyone would disagree that Jeff deserves every single cent that he is owed by the damage David caused him. It seems that today, David is simply focusing on his businesses. He runs a pizza chain called Dobrik's Pizza, which has 2 locations in Los Angeles, and he might still be trying to launch a new app. And as he hasn't posted anything to his Instagram for the past 5 months, it seems like he's really trying to escape the internet as he handles his lawsuit away from social media.